How many? That's a lot. All right, ladies, happy Sunday. Let's have a little chat. I'm just curious to know. Dating older men. Is it a level up for us? Is it a better for us? Is it a better option? Is it a better choice? Should we date older men? What's the difference? Is there a difference? I'm just curious to know out here in the dating pool. Does anybody have suggestions on the age versus the grade versus the class? Is it a difference? Well, here is my simple take on it personally. I wrote down some notes that I wanted to share when it comes to dating older men. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as the common goal, the common interest is the same for the relationship. So understanding has to be had. If he's older, you know, what do you really want from me? Or what does that person really want with you? Just make sure that understanding is had. So for me, yes, it's not a bad thing to date an older man if the common goal is the same and or maturity level. The second thing I want to say about dating an older man, my two experiences. Most people think because a man is older, he's financially secure. Or I know a lot of people like to date older men because of that component. Well, just think about it. If a man is 10 to 20 years older than you, or even 15 years older than you, of course, he would likely be more financially secure. My first experience with it was when I was 21. I met a multimillionaire uh, on a trip. I was on vacation. He was on vacation with his business partners. I did not even know he was a multimillionaire. He just told me he just retired from the military. Be that it may. After getting to know him, and he did not look his age. Again, he was 17 years older than me. After we began to converse, we lived in two different states. So he came to visit to take me out on dates. And then the dates began to get a little upscale. Then they began to be a little more luxury. Then he wanted to meet my parents, which he met my mom when he and I were first met because I was on vacation with my mom. So that's how I met him. Long story short, when he met my dad asked how old he was, because I didn't tell my parents. My dad didn't approve of it. He felt like the person was too old for me, and it was just a no. At that time, very much a daddy's girl. If my dad said no, I just kind of went with it just to prevent arguments from happening between me and my dad and spats and things of that nature. But the person and I continued to have an association, a friendship. And he really became a great life coach to me. He really became a great mentor for me. He really became a great friend to me. Now, he did not tell me until right before like he could tell I was not I'm not going to say not feeling him, but because my dad was as blunt and vulgar when he met my dad, he could tell that I was going to sway or side with what my dad said as far as us not needing to date. So he did. It was after the fact that I found out how much money he was worth and had. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. I didn't know that. And he was like, I can take care of you. You know, it won't be a problem. I can take care of your daughter. I can, you know, he told me all the great things that he could do. So I went back to my dad and I was like, well, Dad, you know, he's rich, rich. Um, and my dad said, I know, leave him alone. No, no, Candy. He said some other vulgar things and he explained to me a lot of times when men have more money, they look for the part of you, not all, but sometimes they look for the part of you that they think, sense, or hope has not been nurtured on or taken care of, and they want to fulfill that. And sometimes they will use it for control. And my dad just did not want me to get in a position that I could not pull myself out of. And I think he was concerned about me getting involved with him and having the exposure after finding out he was a multimillionaire, rolling with certain celebrities and high profile people. As I honestly, ladies, I did do behind my dad's back, but we began to have more of a platonic, like I say, association. But nonetheless, I just want to say, when it comes to it, if the maturity level is there, then yes, I broke it off, and I actually started seeing somebody else. That's actually how and when I met Derek. So I stopped talking to Kenneth on that level, and I started talking to Derek. And my dad really did like Derek. He was a regular guy, as they say, but he was a really good down to earth person, like a hardworking man, but he was more age appropriate. And of course, he was right there in the city and the town that we lived in. So it was more accepting to my dad and Derek's family, especially his dad and his mom. He knew where they came from. Derek was a country boy. So my dad wanted that more for me than Kenneth, because he felt like I was too young and it was going to be experiences that may have, pulled me way out. At that time, like I said, I just listened to my dad, been a daddy's girl, and I went with it. But again, Kenneth and I still had a friendship. We stopped talking for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and then we started back talking. I started back talking to Kenneth when I was going through the abusive parts of my relationship with Derek. And, one thing about Kenneth I can say, one thing I will say about interacting or dating or being friends with a man that has resources or that's financially secure, their way is going to be, I can take care of that. Because he was like, Tamika, no, I can get you out of there. I can move you today. I'm catching a flight. This and this and that. But that's how our friendship really began. Now, my second time dating someone, and Kenneth and I did have a sexual relationship. So we had, like I don't want to say a fling, because he really was pursuing me for dating me, but my dad just put all that to stop. But we did have sex, and he coached me a lot, and I met a lot of wealthy people. I met a lot of that's the most celebrities and wealthy slash rich people I met. And he also taught me about rich and wealthy people that you see every day, but you would not know that they're millionaires, multimillionaires, some people even being close, as he would say, close to a billionaire. So he taught me how to look at men and not be a judgment of their outside, because you never know what they go home to, not just their house, but their actual bank account. So there was a lot with that. But our relationship didn't withstand, only because of my dad. I just didn't go against my daddy. Now, when I was 38, 37, I met a CEO of a company in Charleston, South Carolina. I could tell this man was older, and it just didn't work because our mindsets were different. My dad was already, of course, deceased. My dad died in 2014, but our mindsets were not the same. And he wanted to tell me more of what to do and how to do things than really date me, so to speak. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't take this before. He had a little accident one night where he boo-booed in his bed, and that was just a no for me. It was just a no. So ever since then, I've tried to date someone closer to my age, and I've not wanted to date anyone 5 years younger than my age. But I do believe that, yes, relationships can work if you date an older man for the right reasons and the right purpose. Now, if you're wondering, well, why did you and Kenneth not get back together? There was someone else that came into his life. Um, while I was seeing Derek, he started seeing somebody else as well. We just end up meeting back in life. Like I said, I reached out to Kenneth when I was going through the very abusive part of my relationship with Derek, and I just didn't want my family to know what I was dealing with. And we started a friendship from there that we still have to this day. Strictly platonic. I still know his closest friends, his lady friend, his life partner in his life. She and I are very, very close. She knows that Kenneth and I used to date. And you can even have a friendship with an ex. You can have a friendship with an ex. So yeah, so that's my point on that. My next thing that I want to say about dating older men, what people don't look at, I think this, just in general, I think in the dating pool, just in general, no matter the age, people don't people categorize men as a whole when there are different class of men, but also the grade of them. The class of a man does not make the grade of him. So let's say, for an example, when Kenneth and I were seeing each other, he knew, he could just tell. He said he knew that night. Um, he knew that night in my daddy's little house that I was going to take the side of my dad. He said he knew it was over that night, but he still tried. And he said, yes, I hoped after telling you, what I do for a living and, showing you my financial portfolio, I was hoping that would have made you say, well, nah, I'm going to do this anyway. He said, but that's when he knew that I was a daddy's girl. He said he knew that. But the grade of him, he did not want to disrespect me, my dad, and our relationship, or try to pull me away from my family. So he said he had to accept that. He respects that because he has children, although he has all boys. So that showed me the true grade of him. He was a respectable person. He respected my individual choice, but he also mostly respected my dad. My dad and I were too close. We were just too close. People could not come in between us. Now, people think because you meet a high class man, a high profile man, that you have a good grade of him. That's not always true. And people think because you get a man that's of, middle class, or even if he's in his low class season, because of, and low class is just typically what they make their status. So it could be high status, medium status, or when people say low class, they don't make as much. Guess what? Somebody could have low class, finances because they're working, they're obtaining, their financial goals, but they could have a high grade. I have met some high profile men that do low grade things, and they expect that from you as well. They expect for you to accept, they expect for you to tolerate, they expect for you to deal with low grade situations because of the class that they are in. And it's been men of different ages. um I haven't really dated outside my race like that, but in this arena, it's been men of different ages that I have experienced that with. Now, I don't have a very broad portfolio as far as sex partners, but I have a very broad portfolio of dating, meeting, greeting, and knowing different men, very diverse men from different grades and different classes. What I will tell you, as a woman in her mid 40s, you have to recognize the grade of him. I would say first. That's my thought, that's my belief, that's my opinion. I also want to say if a man has a high grade, if he's high grade, morals, values, he would try to do the right thing, or try to find a situation, try to, if there's a situation, try to find something to bring, some sort of balance to a situation. That's the grade of him. And that's even in dating. We look at the class, but we disregard the grade of who he is. And then when problems come, you may be left in a situation with problems, but he don't want to do the right thing because he's low grade. But if he's of a high grade, he's going to try to find something to do to make the situation right, whatever it is. Or it's not just about making you happy, making y'all happy, because that's who he is. So I just want to say, make sure that you don't classify a man just by the class of who he is. Try to date him, get to know him, hang out with him, be around his surroundings to get to know the grade of him. Even if he comes from, a rough background, he could be the one that God chose to be the person that is of a higher grade, and God will promote him to a certain class at that appointed time. Now, lastly, I want to say this right here. And this is where y'all are going to get a confession from me. That's what I love about this community over here being small. We're starting over. And I wanna share some things because I want us to do life together. I currently benefit from a high class, high profile man financially, and I have for a number of years. However, The only reason I benefit from this man's life financially is because he put me in the midst of some troubles for my life. It compromised my life and what my goals were for my life. And I just got in the midst of his mess that I did not honestly know about. When people get in mess and situations, especially pertaining to other women involved, you cannot control people. All of us are different. All of us have different personalities as women in general. You don't know how a person's going to respond or how they will take something. So this is what I am currently doing in my life. I'm sharing this in case you find yourself in this situation or have been in it. I allow this person, yes, I'm not going to say his name, but I'm sure y'all know who I'm speaking of. Yes, he does financially secure my life. Yes, that person does because of that situation. Also because of the low grade things that he did and was doing unbeknownst to me. Now, why am I sharing this in this conversation? Because people oftentimes pick at women because they think they're not as pretty or well kept or put together, and why would he want her? Why would he do such and such for her? Well, sometimes a man of any class but of a high grade is going to always try to right a wrong that he's done to a woman that knows that he was wrong, and he knows he was wrong. And he also will always lean towards a woman that will not sleep with him or that he cannot sleep with for whatever reasons. He will likely try, in most situations, he will likely try to afford her something, whether, no matter what class he's in. Know that now, so that if you happen to find yourself in one of these, situations or circumstances, it'll help you more than hurt you. Don't judge a book by its cover because you don't know. Lies are a part of life. We all lie. Me, you, them, and everybody else. Don't be so opinionated about another person's life that you miss the facts of yours because you, cannot see the facts of somebody else. So you become opinionated. Yes, that person takes care of me, but that person takes care of me because of the wrong. I'm not talking about Kenneth. If you know, then you know. You don't have to put his name in the comment section. You don't have to put his name in the chat. If you know, then you know. But that person does take care of my life financially. But the trolls and the women that he has dealt with are low grade women, degrading women, what I call dumb women. What my dad taught me, pole holes. When a man is interacting or playing with pole holes, you need to keep your distance and your space from him. Not for him to see anything in you, but for you to know that you're not to be anything like them. Any man that makes his mind up, of any class, high class, middle class, low class, if a woman will do degrading things with him, he will likely do it. All of us have choices, and we're just a choice away. It may not make him to the core of who he is, but he will do it. I would just advise you not to do it. Ladies, I lay my life on display earnestly and honestly today. As I've said a few times in some other videos, I'm going to do things differently over here. I believe we think people have it so well put together, and we hear about situations and circumstances, but we don't hear anyone talk about the ugly parts of it. This is the ugly part of my life. Yeah, Antonio takes care of me financially, but look at the drama. Look at why. Why he does it is because the drama that he brought into my life, unbeknownst to me, of the women that he has been dealing with and dealt with. I closed my legs. He opened his wallet, not me asking, not one time, because those women have trolled my life, tried to destroy my life, tried to destroy my character, Tried to destroy my hair, my teeth, my nails, my skin, my weight, everything. It's just compensation. I allow it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do allow it. I didn't ask for it. By the grace of God, I can take care of myself financially. But this is what I also want to educate you on. When men give you stuff, sometimes there is an expectation. They want things. They do want the one that they feel like they can't get or they know they can't get. They do want that person from a different taste or flavor of life. I'm using those words because that's what Kenneth has always taught me. And he has always taught me in situations like this as well, close your legs. Let other people open their legs for you. Because if he's meant to come to you, he's going to have to come to you correct. Because you will make a man out of him and they playing with the boy of him. So let them have fun enjoying the boy. But you better know if a man is presenting himself to you, no matter what class or grade that he is in. So I just want to say that's my secret that I've kept. That's my secret that I have lied about. So if I need to make any apologies to you all over here, I'll do that. I've gotten irritated and agitated with the situation, but Kenneth tries to keep my head in the game of it, with it, because he always says, Tamika, this man taking care of you, he might be sleeping with them and they might be getting some money, but he broke it down. You're burning all ends of the candles. You get paid from your channels. You get paid from them booking fake readings. You get paid from them when you do your classes, and you get paid from the man that they're trolling you about, that you have no sexual involvement with. Keep doing what you're doing. So let that, I don't know who needs that part, but it was laid heavy on me last night. And I woke up because I've never wanted people to know that. I did many things to camouflage it, so that it wouldn't cause him havoc or hell, but they constantly bring hell to my life. Why, again, am I sharing this? Many women go through this behind the scenes or silently. I like to educate us over here so that we can keep it real, so that you do not think that I am any better than what you are. Y'all, now let me say this about my attire really quickly. I've always loved clothes. I've always loved hair. I've always loved nails. This is really my personality of my childhood, coming back through me, to be honest. That is it. When I was a teenager, but I had to give that up after I had my daughter. It was one of the things my dad made me. Look at here. Hold on. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, why everything okay? About who? Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna call you back. You got your earbuds in? Don't forget, now I'm gonna call you back in 5 minutes, Notion. Okay, all right, later. That's my baby. But yeah, that's how my dad made me give it up with, being as fashionable, because I had to mother. So I wanted to have this conversation because that person and we're of the same age. We're of the same age. He's just in a different class than I am, because he's more financially secure than me. But ladies, don't be so foolish that you think that you're trolling someone that a person does not care about, does not do anything for, does not want to be with. Don't psych yourself out. I see there are a lot of women on social media, and I'm not going to say everybody is lying, but I think people are lying, trying to make their life so well put together and present it to you. I think I would rather be the person that discusses some of my mess, or some of the mess that I've experienced in life, and maybe it'll help you make some healthier choices for you. Maybe it will help you. Maybe it will help direct you in a better way. Maybe it will help you kind of decipher some things and see your situation. And also, if you happen to be a woman that has trolled another woman, be careful with that. All you typically do is push that man into her arms. But she will sit up and allow you to screw him. But you may never know how she benefits from his life, his hard working and screwing you. And she's reaping major rewards and lucrative financial benefits. So don't be foolish. Don't be ignorant. Don't be dumb. Do not be stupid. Telepathy is good. Most people that have telepathy, it is because they want to penetrate the emotions of a person. But for those that can, they will always try to compensate a person in other areas by other means that the other person will allow. That's my time. I don't want to go over 30 minutes. I hope this message helps. I think dating men, older men, is just fine as long as the common goal and the common interest for the relationship is there and the maturity level. I also believe that in dating, no matter what age, no matter what range, understand not only the class of who he is, but the grade of who he is, because that shows and defines who he is as a man to you in that season and potentially what he still will be. Try not to categorize men because they are of a certain class, because that's only for a season. Seasons can be long, but seasons can be short. Who we are, which is the grade, that grade defines all of us. Who you are will show itself one way or another. In my final close and my little I'm using this as a professional clapback. I like to say to my trolls, I want to thank you for benefiting my life. I want to thank you for trolling me. The high value man that you think I have no interactions with has always taken care of me financially. Peace and blessing, great day. Ladies, you all have a beautiful Sunday. I will catch you another day for another chat. Namaste.